Happening now, new details in the death of a longtime sheriff's captain who's slated to be laid to rest at the end of the week. And the latest on a fire that destroyed a northern Chautauqua County business, a police investigation into what sparked that blaze now underway. Plus, with these toasty temperatures and dry days, the risk of fire significantly higher, how easy it is to start a blaze, and how to prevent a disaster from happening.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. We're learning more about the tragic death of a Chautauqua County Sheriff's captain. This as the community is remembering the long legacy he leaves behind. Our Julia Gress has more.
Over the weekend, Captain David Bentley died after falling into Chautauqua Lake while boating near Martha's Vineyard in the town of Ellerly.
He was going out to his motorboat, which was moored off the shore, was taking his canoe out there to the boat and was transferring from the canoe into the motorboat. And unknown at this time what caused him to fall into the water, whether it was just the unsteadiness of the canoe or if he lost his balance.
A neighbor and nearby vacationers attempted to save Bentley's life using CPR, but were unsuccessful. Bentley's work for the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office began in 1985, and most recently was overseeing the Patrol and Special Teams divisions. For many years, he headed the Drug Task Force and served as a firearms instructor, teaching numerous topics at the Sheriff's Academy.
Captain Bentley was instrumental in law enforcement and training many officers throughout this county. So it's an impact, really not even just in Chautauqua County, but we've received contact from across the state, people that he has worked with and helped train.
The captain was known as a cop's cop and was committed to the job, community, and his family.
He had a very compassionate side, was very willing to step up and help those who were in need. I think of one particular individual who, when Captain Bentley was running the Drug Task Force, individual who struggled with life-controlling problems and for years has been helping him to try to help keep him clean and directing him in the right direct paths.
Bentley comes from a family of law enforcement, and that legacy continues with the officers he trained, as well as with his son, who works as an assistant district attorney. He is survived by his wife Kim, children Eric and Caitlin, and his grandson Sawyer.
And sometimes in that grieving process, it's being able to gather and share stories. And, it's an opportunity when we look at the funeral, an opportunity to grieve, but it's also an opportunity to offer hope to individuals and to remember.
Now, public visitation will take place at Lind Funeral Home in Jamestown on Thursday from 2 to 8. The funeral service will be held the following day at First Lutheran Church in Jamestown at 11 a.m. A graveside ceremony will then follow at Fluvanna Cemetery ahead of a reception at the Fluvanna Fire Department. A Jamestown trio is facing drug and weapons charges following a series of police raids. The Jamestown Police Department, along with partner agencies, executed a series of search warrants at residences on Allen Street, Forest Avenue, and Bowen Street last Friday. Jaquan Thomas, Jose Masonette III, and Ron Kate Masonette, and a 16-year-old were arrested. Thomas was allegedly busted with a loaded handgun and a face serial number on it, while Jose Masonette was charged in connection with the seizure of several varying drug compounds, including crack cocaine and methamphetamine. He was also found to have U.S. currency and believed to be the proceeds of illicit drug sales. The teen police said was arrested on assault charges stemming from an incident where that juvenile allegedly shot an officer in the eye with an Orbeez gun. Meanwhile, Ronquette Masonette was charged with endangering the welfare of a child. And more details about an officer-involved shooting in Cattaraugus County have been released. New York State police troopers report, along with the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office, deputies and troopers responded to a suicidal subject in the town of Machias on Saturday. After finding that subject via an unmanned aerial system, law enforcement approached. Police said Thomas Wright was holding a baseball bat. He was given commands to drop that, and after doing so, troopers said Wright drew a weapon which appeared to be a black pistol, pointing it at police. The state trooper then discharged his firearm, striking Wright. He was taken into custody and given immediate medical care before being transported to ECMC. That pistol that police say was pointed at them was later identified as an airsoft gun. Wright was in possession of a second airsoft gun and a kitchen knife at the time. He has since been treated for a single non-life-threatening gunshot wound and underwent a mental health evaluation. And firefighters spent several hours last night extinguishing flames at a northern Chautauqua County business. The Sheridan Fire Department responded to 3491 Route 20. That's the Pawn Stars location at around 5:15. When firefighters first arrived on scene, they found the structure fully engulfed in flames. Route 20 was closed from Route 39 to Swamp Road as personnel worked the scene there. Since then, that roadway has reopened. And as of now, fire investigators still on scene working to determine the blaze's cause. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story and provide updates when we get them on air and online at WNYNewsNow.com. And with warm summer months upon us, many risks comes with this dry, toasty weather, including brush and wildfires. Our Bronson Rasmussen spoke with Jamestown Fire Chief Matthew Kuhn on the risk involved.
With the dry and warmer temperatures that plague the area in the summer months, fires are a real risk that can happen anywhere.
When we get to this time of year, and it's quite obvious that our vegetation is now drying out since we've had this period of aridness, if you will, just be very mindful of discarding anything that would be a possible heat source. Discarded cigarettes, anything that would possibly be hot, like from doing construction work or welding or sparks. Anything of that nature is a potential hazard to ignite vegetation that's laying along the ground. And with it being so dry, it's certainly plausible that any fuel laying around like that would ignite very quickly and could quickly spread out of control.
Jamestown Fire Chief Matthew Kuhn says open burning is illegal in the city of Jamestown, but when outside the city, to be mindful of the threat fire poses.
This time of year, it's not uncommon for folks to want to camp outside, have fires outside. So the best advice I can offer is anybody that's going to engage in any behavior like that outside of town, certainly don't ever go to bed and leave a fire unattended. Don't leave it. If you have to leave, please make sure it's fully extinguished.
Fire isn't the only risk that comes with warmer weather. The likelihood of dehydration also drastically increases in the summer months.
This time of year, it's very hot outside, as everybody knows. Please make sure that you're being mindful of keeping yourself hydrated. Practice good work practices when you're outside. Make sure that you're staying hydrated. Check on your neighbors. Certainly check on pets that are left outside. Food and water is very important.
In the end, Chief Kuhn urges the public to call emergency services whenever a fire is spotted, no matter how small. Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you for those tips, and he's definitely right. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now, and it has been dry, and that's raised concerns not just from fire officials, but weather personnel too.
Yes, we're still running below average for the season. In fact, we did tack on a little bit of rain last night, but just a little bit, not enough. 2.32 inches is the seasonal total. Now, understand, we keep weather records for the summer months from June 1st all the way until August 31st. So that is over a 3¼ inch deficit to where we should be, over 3.5 inches below normal to where we should be. So we really need a soaking rain here to really kind of quench the thirst. And the drought monitor still shows us in this abnormally dry category. Now, understand, the drought monitor is updated by NOAA every Thursday. So on Thursday, we'll have a new update to this, and I would not be shocked to see this abnormally dry condition start to expand a little bit farther east and south, further down into Warren County and also into Cattaraugus County as well. So, we need rainfall around here, but we're not going to get much over the next couple of days. 82 was the high yesterday, started the day at a muggy 67, 97, and 39 are the records. So through the afternoon, early afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. We will see some sun peaks at times. We're already seeing that right now. 74 to 82 with a west wind 10 to 25 miles per hour. Now we do have some rain to go through tomorrow, then it turns drier again. We'll talk about how warm we'll get with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day later on in the show, Justin.
All right, see you then, Dakota. As we continue, if you're looking to adopt a fuzzy companion, look no further. We highlight an effort underway right now at Dunkirk's PetSmart to find animals a home. And later, a new strand of COVID-19 quickly becoming the majority variant, how this is different than what we're used to seeing. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Multiple local groups are teaming up to find shelter animals new homes in northern Chautauqua County this week. The Chautauqua County Humane Society, Lakeshore Humane Society, and the Small Companion Advocacy Team are offering reduced-priced adoptions through Sunday to anyone interested in adding a new furry member to the family. The event is being held at PetSmart on Vineyard Drive. That's right next to the Tops location in Dunkirk, with staff available from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day until the end of the week. Organizers say the number of pet adoptions has gone down as a result of tougher economic conditions, while the number of animal rescues continues to grow. With the surplus of abandoned animals being brought in, some shelters are finding themselves running out of room and unable to accept more.
You come in here to get a cat, you are getting a cat that's already been vetted, it's already been spayed and neutered, it's already had its first vaccines, it's been flea treated, it's had a microchip. So for a small adoption fee, you're doing what would cost hundreds at a vet. That is why we really promote adoption. That way you know the animal's already fixed and you don't have to try to get an appointment yourself or cause your animal to end up having babies, which makes the problem even worse.
It's primarily cats being offered throughout the week, but if you're more of a dog person, the Lakeshore Humane Society will have some available over the weekend. Governor Kathy Hochul announced the Empire State Line, a project that will upgrade the energy transmission systems that serve western New York yesterday. According to the governor's office, the new project will allow an additional 37 megawatts of renewable energy throughout the state. The Empire State Line marks progress towards exceeding New York State goal to achieve 70% electricity from renewable resources by 2030 and a net zero emission grid by 2040. The governor's office also says the project is estimated to provide $950 million in lifetime customer savings and avoid 7.4 million tons of carbon emissions. In just a matter of weeks, the BA.5 version of COVID-19 has become the majority variant of the virus. And this news comes amid what may already be America's second leading wave of the pandemic. The BA.5 subvariant can cause reinfection and even after vaccination and previous illness. Erie News Now's Mike Ruzzi reports.
There are now more than 100,000 new cases of COVID confirmed in the United States every day, and that pace has been steady for the past 6 weeks.
I'm concerned, but I'm not concerned. I think what I am concerned about is for our vulnerable populations, our unvaccinated friends, relatives, and children who are really playing roulette with this disease that can be, deadly.
Hospitalizations hit its lowest dip in April, and now the trend is back on the upswing for every age group.
So hospitalizations is where I start to get concerned. So I'm trying not to worry about new cases that are diagnosed. I think that with vaccines and with Paxlovid and monoclonal antibodies, we have a lot of prevention at our disposal. But when I see hospitalizations go up, that's where I start to get concerned.
The first and second booster shots are important at this stage, since only 34% of Americans have received the booster shots recommended by the CDC.
If you're planning on going on vacation and need a negative COVID test, you're going to put your guard way up. If you have plans that can't be canceled, you're probably going to put your guard up. But I think that we should be masking in big, crowded places, indoors.
Mike Ruzzi, Erie News Now.
Mike, thank you. The state of New York has just announced a new COVID hotline number for those who maybe test positive for the virus but don't have a healthcare provider. That number is 1-888-TREAT-NEW YORK, 1-888-873-2869. And in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, long-term care advocates and lawmakers are celebrating historic investments for an industry hit hard by the pandemic. In the state budget, which was signed by Governor Tom Wolf Friday, it paves the way for an over $500 million increase for long-term care and skilled nursing facilities. The budget includes a 17.5% increase in the Medicaid reimbursement rate for nursing homes, which is about a $35 more per resident per day. That includes a federal match, too. About $130 million American Rescue Plan stimulus dollars will also be headed to nursing homes, and over $26 million stimulus dollars are allocated for assisted living communities and personal care homes. Advocates say the historic investment is crucial for the future of long-term care.
We believe that this infusion of funds and this investment will allow providers to finally invest in their staff and to keep staff and to provide continuity of care for their residents.
Increased Medicaid reimbursement rates will take effect in January of next year, and American Rescue Plan dollars should be allocated in the next 2 to 3 months. Coming up, a look at the just released NASA images of the universe taken from the Webb telescope, and they're breathtaking. And later, Lakewood Village officials, they are hard at work to bring the beloved Lakewood Farmers Market back, with coordinators working to really stand out. But first, take a look at our full weather forecast when we return.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Wanted to give you a live look over the Chautauqua Lake Association Skycam, and the clouds are starting to break apart now, so we are leading to some sunshine for this afternoon hours. That is the good news for you. But the bad news is, yeah, we really need a soaker here, as we told you during the first weather segment, and really Mother Nature is not going to give us much. Now, again, we do have the chance of rain today at 30%, but that was mainly for the early morning hours, for the morning and early afternoon hours. We do see a spike up to 40% tomorrow, and then it turns drier for the end of the week and into the first half of the weekend. And this is the NOAA quantitative precipitation forecast going out for the next 5 days, and you can see not much in terms of the rainfall here. We're looking at about maybe a quarter of an inch to maybe at most a half an inch over the next 5 days. This is not going to help us in the rainfall department here at all. But hey, you know what? We'll take anything we can get, but we need more than that to really get rid of our deficit here. We're at 77 as of noon hour right now, 79 in Warren, also in Tidiute. 78 seems to be the favorite number here. We've got that in Fredonia, Clymer, and Randolph. But when you look at the dew point, which measures the moisture content in the atmosphere, yeah, we're still close to that 60-degree mark. In fact, we're still hanging on to it down across Warren County, 62 in Warren, 62 in Bradford. But we have a cold front that's moving across the region now. So as soon as that cold front actually crosses the entire region, we are going to see much cooler air arriving and more refreshing air as that. In fact, the Muggy meter shows that to you. We'll be down into the pleasant category for tomorrow all the way through at least the first half of the weekend. So we will be done with the muggies for a little while. This is what's left of the rain that we have on First Defense Doppler right now. This little shower that is just north of Bradford. Then we have a couple little showers over across the eastern part of Allegheny County going into Steubenton County. But basically the western southern tier dry, and there's our cold front. It's moving across the region now. So we've got a frontal passage. We're going to be going through one this afternoon, and then you can see behind that the clouds starting to break apart. So we will going to see some sunshine back in here once again. So the newest run of the computer modeling shows you the chance for those showers mainly further out to the east. We could catch at least a small isolated shower across the evening hours tonight. Tomorrow, again, notice how the modeling does spark up a couple isolated showers. Best chance for that mainly from the state line southward looks to be the better chance for any of those showers and maybe a couple rumbles. Then it turns drier by the time we go into Thursday, and then we will dry out for at least the first half of the weekend. 55 to 62 tonight, an early shower or storm, otherwise mostly cloudy. Now the next 7 days powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions, so we're down to 76 tomorrow. Some sunshine Thursday, Friday looking like a fabulous day, 81, lower humidity, more muggy Saturday. Then our rain chances return Sunday and Monday. But Justin, Mother Nature is not going to provide us with that soaking rain that we need.
No, and everybody seems to be looking for it out there, Dakota. Although we do have the fropa, which I've just learned.
That's right.
I've just learned the terminology for it, which is pretty cool. Thank you. You know what else is pretty cool? These images, check them out. NASA just released today. They're from the James Webb Space Telescope, and they're changing the way that we see the universe. Yesterday, they first got a sneak peek of the images. These are just some of the other telescopes have captured so far. Now, the telescope doesn't just peek into the galaxy far, far away. It actually looks back in time. That's because it shows stars so distant they might not even exist by the time that the light reaches the telescope. In fact, by then, much of that light has stretched into infrared waves, completely invisible to us, but not to Webb. President Joe Biden says steps are being taken to make the nation safer. On Monday, the Bipartisan Safer Community Act was passed, which Biden says is the most significant federal gun safety legislation in 3 decades. But the president acknowledged Monday that the law falls short of what he and his party advocates had been aiming for to stop the frequency of shootings in the U.S. The legislation features $750 million to help states develop and maintain crisis intervention programs. And after the Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade last month, it looks like the abortion fight is far from over in Congress. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp shares what congressional members are trying to do.
It looks like the House is taking up 2 abortion bills. The first is to codify Roe into law. The second is to protect people crossing into other states to get an abortion. The House already passed the Women's Health Protection Act back in September, which would codify Roe into law, but Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi says they will pass it again. When the House first took up that bill last time around, our local congressional members, including Congressman Fred Keller, Mike Kelly, and Glenn Thompson, all voted no on this legislation. Congressman Keller told us in a statement today that he will vote against any legislation that will codify Roe v. Wade into law or any other action that puts unborn babies at risk. He also adds that this attempt by Speaker Pelosi is just for political purposes. Congressman Kelly couldn't speak with us today on this, but in an op-ed published today in Newsweek, he says in part, Roe was both a legal and moral abomination from the beginning. After Roe was overturned, some states are tossing around the idea of making it a crime for a woman to travel across state lines to get an abortion in a state that still allows it. So in response to that, Democratic lawmakers say they wrote legislation that would protect people's rights to travel across state lines to do so, adding that it's a constitutional right for Americans to travel freely and voluntarily in the U.S., including traveling for health care. Even if the House passes these bills, it's unlikely to pass in the Senate. The Senate essentially needs around 60 votes to move forward with legislation, which is unlikely to happen. Back to you.
Rachel, thank you. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on those latest developments on the bills. Next, the reopening of the Lakewood Farmers Market has brought back returning vendors and hoping to bring back even more. An inside look at what it takes to become part of this market coming up.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The Lakewood Farmers Market has made a comeback for the summer after being put on hold for the last 3 years due to COVID, bringing opportunities for new and returning vendors. Our Alyssa Wright joins us in studio with more. Hello, Alyssa.
Hi, Justin. Considering it's been a few years since Lakewood was able to actually host this farmers market, the vendor turnout was a little underwhelming when things first kicked off the season, but officials, like coordinator Julie Tonis, are staying very hopeful.
Our first year doing this in 3 years, so without having it for so long, it was a little tough trying to get people to sign up just because we compete with Mayville on Thursdays and there's a huge farmers market in Jamestown on Saturdays and really all over the place. So I'm happy with what's happening this year.
According to Tonis, anyone can become a vendor and set up at the market. However, it is required to bring a tent that can be weighted down as one will not be provided.
It's got to be all homemade stuff. And yes, just give us a call at the Village Hall at Lakewood and we can get you signed up. And then we just make sure that the street's blocked off at night and nobody gets in any of the parking spots, and they come and set up, and they're a really great group of folks to work with.
Village officials say one of the main aspects that makes this event so successful is its planning coordinator, Julie Tonis, and they aren't the only ones applauding her work.
Yeah, I am very happy when Miss Julie make a good opportunity for everybody.
We're just hoping to bring Lakewood back to life after COVID.
The Lakewood Farmers Market is still accepting vendor applications at this time and is open for shopping every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Justin and Dakota, back to you.
All right, that looks like a great time, and you can get some really great fruits and vegetables from many of those stands. I know I stopped at Peaches and Cream, not a farmer's market, but they have great veggies. And we just had last night waffles with fresh strawberries. And they're better than the store. They really are in many cases, and many times even less expensive too, which is delicious. So, Alyssa, thank you.
Were those waffles homemade?
Yeah. Well, no, they were like the store bin, but I made them myself in the waffle.
We'll talk more about this after we go.
What's the definition of homemade?
You make it. It doesn't come from a box.
Well, have a great day.